So good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Donny Chaingang with me, Matt Payne, live here from the Full Speed Event Studios down in the old beer cellar. And it is a great week we've got lined up for you. It's week 3 of February. It is OTE week. It's the second of our giveaway weeks for members of the DCG gang. Say thank you to everybody for supporting the Donny Chaingang and helping us keep the show on the road, to keep those wheels turning, to replace the broken monitors, which we have a bit of blowing up, and the cables that go with them, and to keep everything rolling. And now, massive thank you to everybody who's joined. And got to say a big congratulations to the people who won last week. Alice Cootie, along with Sarah Grimshaw, taking away those prizes from Grand Tour Coffee. Now, this week we've got some great prizes because OT really are our key supporters. They have a 25% discount for members of the DCG gang. So if you are using energy fuel, if you're fueling up, if you're using something to keep yourself hydrated, to keep yourself fueled up with carbs, to make sure that you recover properly and that you've got that kit when you've got the go, then OTE, fantastic products, massive range of them, and lots of them, things like the Anytime bar, as you'll notice across the bottom as well. It's also gluten-free. We've actually got somebody who's celiac in the family, and that is an absolute lifesaver. And a lot easier on the stomach, not more fun. So goodness in and greatness out. Now, the giveaway that we're going to give away, we've got a fantastic set of prizes because we know that everybody, of course, at the moment stuck in the pain cave. The weather is absolutely atrocious. I was out on the mountain bike on Saturday in the pouring rain, and when it really hit, there's a very interesting moment of Matt throwing his shorts in the rucksack and pulling on the wall, full waterproofs. But by the time we got down, absolutely drenched. So pain cave for me today, earlier on. And pain cave for lots of our riders. It's a different situation. It's generally warmer, it's hotter. Hydration's absolutely key. So for the indoor training pack, it's a really good pack. First of all, you get a 750ml bottle, so it's the bigger size of bottle from OTE. You get the set of hydro tabs to go in there, and this, in fact, still has my hydro tabs in there because it was all done. We've got a little bit left after the training session, which is going to be put to good use now. You get an Anytime bar, fuel up beforehand. You get a gel. Obviously, keep that about 5 minutes before the go, or 20 minutes before you think the end is. That's kind of the target. And you get some recovery powder as well. So you get a recovery sachet of OTE's fantastic chocolate recovery powder. It is the business and quite addictive, I warn you now. We've got 3 packs to give away today and 3 packs to give away on Thursday. And it does mean that we are going to be making sure it's one rider, one prize. Proper old school stuff. And so what we've done, we've got all of our members from A for Alistair right the way down to our very last rider on the alphabet, which I think is V at the moment. I'm going to have a double check. Yeah, it is indeed a V for Vincent. Then we have got everyone numbered. Our random number generator is rolling, and we are going to fire that up onto the screen. So here we go. The random number generator is rolling. So if you're an A, you're at number 1. If you're a Z, you're at the highest number, which is just below that 100 mark at the moment. You see everything in double digits. We're going to stop the generator randomly 3 occasions. It's one rider, one prize. So we'll be having our 3 riders. Names out of the hat. If it lands on the same number twice, obviously we'll just roll it all over again. And remember, if you want to be part of this, if you want to be able to access the prize draws, then please, guys, make sure you sign up. That monthly donation, it's very easy to get that back from all of the support from everybody from Velaskin as well, which is a 20% discount. 1080 Gritty, who've got some week coming up. Velaskin, in fact, got a week coming up in March as well as Nonnas. And all of the support that we get from our supporters is absolutely critical. So, without further ado, let's hit the stop button. And it is rider number 44. So that is going to be Mick Chappell. So, Mick, you are our very first rider who is going to be in the gang. So well done to Mick. We're just going to put him his details in. So well done to Mick. That is a great result. And we're now going to go and hit the start. Let's fire it up again. So 1 done, 2 to go. So Mick Chappell, our first rider in the DCG gang, who's going to be getting that fantastic taster pack. Now, next up, number 32. That is going to be James Forbes. So, James, congratulations, James. You are going to be our second prize winner today. So, congratulations to James, so a February member of the DCG gang. And that leaves us 1 more to go today. Fire that generator running again. We've no idea how it's sorted. I have actually tried stopping it, as I said before. I'm trying to get this to stop on set numbers. It is absolutely impossible. It's just completely impossible to do that. So 2 of our packs away. We'll hit the button. Number 68. That is going to be Sonia Inslee. So Sonia is going to get the 3rd of our packs. A bit of a monster when it comes to training regular on the Donny Chaingang and the WoW DCG as well. So at the moment it is Sonia who's got the 3rd of those packs. James Forbes with the 2nd. And top spot, the first winner tonight was Mick Chappell. We'll be in touch with them and with our 3 winners on Thursday to let them know how to claim those prizes. Now, we are going to just do a little bit of juggling of our screens as we try and get in touch, first of all, with the yellow beacon. This could be quite an entertaining moment because we all know that we had Jimmy in because Russ was poorly, but Russ now back with us. The bear has been recovering in his cave, hopefully been on the honey, and going to be ready to tear everybody's legs off one by one, I would imagine. So let's see how it's getting on. It's just on countdown now. Russ, how are you getting on? I'm good. And please, before we go any further, Russ, before we go any further, just tell us.
Very quiet.
Just tell us how you've got on. How has the recovery gone? Are you now fit and ready to go with about 10 seconds left?
Yeah, good timing, mate. Yeah, but I've had a steady week, sleeping it off, and tested negative, so we're all good. I've had a couple of 1-hour sessions just to turn the body over. But yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to hurt today around here, but we should have some fun. So yeah, let's behave. You'll all get a good workout, but not until I say so. And that might be an early call tonight, so I can have a early Turkish bath. I think is it straight on here to the Turkish baths, or left or right? Yeah.
I can never remember actually, because we're going out onto what is just the bigger circuit of the two. So I think it's left here, then turn left and right,
left
or you can go
bottom.
right and turn right and left. But I must admit, it's been a while. I'm not posh enough to go regularly. It's not one of my.
It's on the corner down here. We've just gone past Betty's now. We're going down the hill.
Oh, I know where Betty's is. I can deal with Betty's. Cakes and me, we're good.
It's literally on the left-hand side down here, the old Turkish baths, and yeah, might call in there on lap 2 or something and see what's happening.
That sounds like a great plan. And this is the first time we've used this full-on circuit as part of OTE week. We've had 3 winners today, and we've got 3 more winners to come on Thursday of those fantastic indoor training products. And it makes a big difference, doesn't it? Getting the hydration right, particularly if you're in a pain cave and it's getting warm and you've been cold all day and maybe haven't drunk enough.
That's it. Yeah, the only thing is if you refuel too early, then you end up doing Mr. Run It and want to stop for the toilet every 10 minutes. But it's all about refueling on these rides, and should be a good thing around here tonight. And OTE, great supporter of the DCG and coming up with the goods to fill that basket with, as we always say.
Indeed, and don't forget, make sure if you're wanting everything from coffee beans right the way through to rehydrating, recovery fuel, everything from Oakleys and Sets wheels right the way through to sustainable clothing. You want to sit comfy on the bike, make sure that you join the DCG gang, support the people who support the Donny Chaingang every time, absolutely key. So we're going to let you herd the troops together, although it's looking like everybody's maybe a little scared today because they seem to be a little bit circumspect in coming out at a nice old steady pace there. Yeah,
maybe something to do with me having the old dreaded COVID and the want to go easy on me, but
yeah, right.
So yeah, cheers for that.
I think it's more because they're scared of the circuit. Let's face it, I would be. It's horrible, Italy. And I think with that, we better show people where we're heading today and let you get on with briefing the troops. We'll catch you soon, Russ.
Cheers, mate. Ta-da.
So great to catch up with Russ. Our riders just heading out on the start of the circuit. We're going to let them regroup. Let's show you where we're going tonight. We are out on the Tour of Tewit Well. And it is a really simple circuit. It's basically the bigger of the two circuits that form the figure of 8 on the Harrogate circuit. So we have a 0k leading. We basically drop down through the line. We're currently just rolling our way up through that red section towards the KOM for the first time. And we're going to do 4 laps. Each lap's 10.9 kilometres. We finish at the Harrogate lap, Harrogate. For everybody who came from Leeds area, lap arch at about 43.6k. We haven't done this before, so we can't check back on the mileage, but that should be spot on. So it's going to be 4 laps of the circuit. Remember, all the riders need to stay with yellow as much as is possible as they head out from the start gates. We do have well over 100 riders again, so it is going to be key for our riders to try and stay in with the group to start off with to pick themselves up. And for our red beacon, Carl Johnson, Carl, a regular on the DCG gang, to be able to look after them at the back. I know Carl, one of our regulars on the Chaingang, going to be watching out for our riders as we go out and round. Now, 4 laps of 203 metres. 812 metres of climbing. This is in the territory of something like Climbers Gambit. It's in the territory of any of our super hilly rides. This is not your average take it easy circuit. It just isn't going to work because it is so hilly. And I think really the best way to show you that is to jump from our fantastic animated map, which is provided by the Swift Hacks team. A massive thank you to them. And jump across to the fellow viewer profile, Tour of Tewit Well. So we've flipped it around to the opposite way around to give you a better indication of these hills. Essentially, we started out dropping down. We're currently on the climb from the bottom left-hand corner up towards the top. The first of those peaks coming just after 2k. We drop down after 3.25k. We're in the low point of the course, going across the bridge. We go up past with what is allegedly Fountains Abbey on the left-hand side. We're not going down that road again. It's a whole can of worms about Cistercian Abbeys. We take the left-hand turn on the corner up by the end of Pennypot Lane, drop down to the base of Pot Bank, climb up Pot Bank, which is where that red, nasty, evil, horrible, big section is, the steepest section of the climb. It then continues onwards over the top, and then we have our run back, which is from about 6.7k all the way down, drops down to 8.25. You've got the last kicker, and then that last chase in. Now, this circuit really is difficult to keep together. The map doesn't show you just how tough it is. The VeloViewer graphic here, powered by Strava, does. Massive thank you to Ben, and don't forget to give them some support. Grab yourself a pro membership. It's a very, very minimal membership fee and great to get in there. So support them. They can keep on supporting us and providing us with all of these graphics. So let's head across to the riders here on the Donny Chaingang on OTE week. Let's see who hits the gel at the right time, who's done the prep, and who's hydrated properly here on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel. So our riders are rolling along well at the moment, and it's looking at the moment like it is just ticking along quite nicely out there. Nothing too drastic at the moment as we go down in through. Just following Carl Johnson, our red beacon at the moment, just behind Andy Caldwell. As they come down in towards the turn, the top right-hand side of your screen, you'll see that map if we just zoom out. The bridge here as we come across the low point of the course. As we come down, it's basically downstream from Pot Bank in real life. The circuit here really inspired by a number of recons out and around the roads by the Zwift teams in preparation for those World Championships, and some great articles on Zwift Inside as well worth a view. Now, Andy Caldwell just tucking along, just trying to squeeze his way up onto the back. Looks like he's on fairly deep wheels here, and that is going to be a little bit difficult to keep it with the pack as he goes up here. Great on the downhill. More difficult on the upside. At the moment, just watching Sean Ferry. Sean running on that Pinarello again. Pretty deep rims. We're going to have Stefano Borelli. Stefano just tucked in alongside Mr. Kennedy as well. We've got Mr. Potts in here. Craig Genther tucked in. I think we've got Jimmy Allen, the Wolf, the man who stood in for us. And very interestingly, this shows him as being on discs. I'm sure Jimmy is actually, in reality, not on discs at all, and is actually going to be more on something along the lines of some lighter wheels. Jimmy, of course, standing in for us, doing a massive job. Brilliant. So Jimmy in there and nicely moving his way along the climb at the moment. Craig Genther just trying to squeeze on to the back. Oh, you forgot to change all that. Well, it's good on the downhills, mate, if nothing else. So rookie error there from Jimmy, not like him. I was actually inspired by Jimmy. I was on the bike. Some people have seen me. If you've given me a follow on the Zwift, you'll see when I'm suffering and making sure I know exactly what I'm talking about. Actually, I was suffering and putting a Jimmy Allen style attack today when I was in the Zwift races today. So let's have a quick check at the moment. So Mr. Caldwell tucked in there. We've got Carl Johnson in as well. Looks like Catlin in here. Jeff Saysale just rolling around the back of the group, just giving riders a wheel to ride up on. Looks like we've got Lion in here as well. We've got Mr. Cootie in, Jeff Saysale. It looks like we've got Fletcher in here, and this is going to be Tracy Fletcher from the Magspeed race team. Tracy, of course, a multiple time World Cross champion as well as national champion. Mr. Wing, he's in as well. Good to have you back, mate. Looks like Dr. D in here as we come just up to the roundabout turn. This group pretty much all together. Remember, if you're on the front, you won't be at the able to see the back. If you're at the back, you're not going to be able to see the front. So it is pretty key to stay close together as you go up over the top of this section and start dropping down. Now, just going to say a quick apologies. We have unfortunately got no sound from Zwift at the moment, and that is quite simply because we've got an update that's gone through. It's taken a little bit going through. It looks like it has managed to disconnect the sound from the broadcast, which we do get this occasionally. It will be. It looks like I'm going to have either a very late night or very early morning, just trying to get that to tick back in. Now, good to see we've got Sonia Inslee in. Sonia, winner of one of our indoor training bundles from OTE. So one of our winners on OTE on today. Great to see Sonia in here. Watch out for Sonia when you come into the sprint, also known as hashtag Super Sprinter Sonia. So SSS, as she's down, Super Sprinter Sonia, one of the regulars from that Bolsover squad, and just rolling away up towards the front there. And as you can just see Sonia just on that aero bike, and one of our regular riders. Definitely don't go giving her a gel before a sprint if you're on the side of her. She's going to be absolutely flying, no doubt, as we will move through. Looks like you've got Lauren O'Brien here, Andy Singleton's on the gang. And looks like everybody just getting all sorted and just making sure they're all tucked in. Good to have Mr. Kestringham in here. So Mark back in with us. Mark, one of our fast riders, not always able to do the chain gang. So we move up onto this steep section of Pot Bank for the first time. You see the speed absolutely powerful. It's like everybody's just suddenly thrown an anchor out. And it is quite simply because this is a nasty section of hill in real life. It's just as nasty in Zwift going up it. Going down it, in fact, is actually bounded by a dry stone wall on all sides. And as you go down, you can see where this tight left-hand turn is. Well, we regularly used to see people coming down around there and heading off the side of the course, a bit like our riders are trying to do at the front of the group there. A little bit of cyclocross going on, a little bit in the side of the pack. And a lot of riders not quite making it round that turn now. Just keeping a check here. Looks like Carl just trying to keep everybody in touch here. So Andy Caldwell looks like Kennedy tucked in as well. So Kennedy just on the back of this group. So Michael Kennedy, Carl Johnson, Dave Wingy, I think Claire Jessup just squeezing to try and stay in with the gap. Interesting, you got that nice Nyoko jersey. Great jersey, one of the real fun jerseys from Zwift. So let's have a little look. So just keeping a check on Carl. He's rolling along nicely. We've got Nathan from Velobance tucked in here. Good to have Nathan on the gang. Looks like he's gone for a reasonably lightweight setup. We just keep a check. I think Mr. Crease has got the lightest wheels in the game. They're a set of the Melenstein lightweights. You only get these wheels by riding up the Alpe de Zwift, and then you go into a spinning wheel. It's not quite the same as our random number generator, but it's similar. And when you've got done enough on there that the random generator drops you those wheels, it's always a great move because you don't need to ride up it too often again. The average is 13 to pick them up. You can pick them up in as little as 7. Some people 26 cents, and they're still desperate to try and get them now. We are just keeping a check on our riders. They come up this slope at the moment. The riders having to just be really wary of not rolling too far off the front. Remember, we only see the nearest 100 riders. This gap from Kennedy back, and I think we were just checking to see if Andy Caldwell was just behind him. I suspect Andy just took in off the back of the group. We're going to just go do a little bit of a sneaky run back to just keep a check. It looks like Folsom not making it out of the blocks. So at the moment, I think Brad is likely to be sat in that pack. He is indeed. The group in asked to blob up as they come up over the top of the climb here. So our riders just coming up over the top of the big climb out of Pot Bank. It means they've got that descent down before the last hill prior to that start finish line and the end of lap number 1. So the group working well, and just keeping a check as we work our way back through towards Russ. Not too many gaps opening up. It is quite nice going this way actually in real life. It is slightly downhill. When you go the opposite direction, the running was always terrible when you were racing. So typical road race circuit actually came off from the front. You'd be up basically up near the edge of the side of Norad Edge. You come across, you do a left-hand turn, you drop down, you come in past the cricket club on the left. You come down past that junction we've just come past and drop down the bank, you go up the other side, and then turn left on the infamous Pennypot Lane. A circuit full of false drags. It was horrible. There's no other word for it. Now, looks like Kennedy we're just with Johnson at the moment. Johnson just trying to give it a little bit of a tow to pull them in here. So it looks like that gap, though, fairly substantial. Jim Flynn has bodies near him at the moment. So Caitlin Crease, Taylor in here. I think Taylor just tucked on the side here. So Wingy, Taylor, Crease just trying to approach the back of the gang. Steve Hilbert just hovering off the back of the gang here actually at the moment. Needs to just squeeze on, or he's going to be in danger of losing that group. I think Jim going to be likely to see the bus coming behind him fairly shortly. It always pays to ride with a group and conserve your energy. The trick to riding Zwift, and like any pro racer, well, only use your effort when you actually need it. That is absolutely key to ensuring that you've got something left at the end. Let's take a little bit of a run through, because I think Carl nicely in control at the back there. Jim Flynn, just see the yellow beacon up in front. Looks like Catlin just in there. Is it too early to start chugging OTE gels? It's never too early to start chugging gels. The problem is once you start, you don't want to come off the end of them before you actually get over the line. So you've got a lot of gel to consume between now and the end. So just seeing this little group here, just got Russ in. There's a little bit of a split opening between the front pack and the yellow beacon group. So just got Russ chopping sharp. Just seeing Carl Briggs in here, John Gale in this group as well. Just rolling the way down this descent. That gap has just opened up a little. Good to see Mark Ketteringham. He knows the score. He's sat on the back. You can see the group just behind him, just starting to push. And as you can see, the nearest 100 riders are what show. So you're going to see the gaps now. If you are wondering how you get those those views behind it, is that key number 6. That gives you a rear view. That is really easy. Key number 1 is basically keeping an eye on the rider pretty close. Key number 2 takes you in slightly lower and closer. Key 3 is a rider's eye view from Carl at the moment. Number 4, you get a nice side view. You can just see Carl on those Mallenstein lightweights there. Number 5 gives us that classic of the camera hanging down off the side of the motorbike view. Number 6 is your rear view mirrors. Number 7 is your classic panning shot from a camera as the riders come up and past. They come past faster, the faster the riders are going on the downhills. So brings the riders in and past. If you use key 8, it gives you your nice helicopter view. Great if we drop out the graphics as we've just done. And easy way of working out just where we're going. And don't forget, of course, you can have key number 9, which is great when you're doing the final run-in, to just keep an eye on who is around you as you're coming in to the line, or working how fast you can get up and through the pack. So Johnson, Kennedy and Flynn at the moment. These riders are just working the way up here on this last climb before the drop down. When you're on the limit, this last little kick, this dig up over the top, it really can take its toll. Jim and Carl, and I think that's going to be Martin just coming up over the top. Sorry, Michael Kennedy just coming up towards the top of that section. So up they go, and just taking a little look at the back of the bunch. Looks like still getting gaps opening up, so looks like Catlin having to squeeze. Pillsworth doing the same. Genther, Brindle as well. Ian Bale in here. Folsom, Thorpe, Woodall. Looks like Rob Wimble just needs to squeeze on a little bit here. You can't afford to let these gaps go. You're basically burning energy. Not good. Chris Gale, if everybody disappears, it is generally your computer's connection to Zwift. And it is going into limp mode, basically. And it is to do with the speed of your connection to the main servers. So it looks like some ageism going on up at the front with young Tom Lindley starting to feel a little bit got at here. So he's being blamed for everything. I'm not so sure that's the case as we run up there. We're just going to drop back to Carl Johnson, Jim Flynn. So Jim just took it in and just going over the top of Carl at the moment, just chasing Kennedy. So it looks like good to see Jim just putting the message up. So Jim just saying, keep going, guys. Take it easy. Going to be stopping early. Just let's have a little look. Catlin just distanced a little bit. Could like this to be on the bus. We knew the bus was going to get busy. We have drafted in a proper Yorkshire bus, which has got plenty of room on board. Let's take a little bit of a look now. Looks like gaps already are growing. This group not particularly sticking together. We always say don't panic, but gotta say, at the moment, the front group not pushing on too hard and splitting the gang up as they come through. This will be the finish line in 3 laps time. It's 3 laps to go as our riders hit the line this time. So 3 laps to go for our riders, 3 laps to go. The gang continue to squeeze on, as you can see from the map, top right hand side. Just dropping down in, as Russ said, we're just about to go down and past Betty's, which will take us down to the lower section of town before taking that left-hand turn. Anyone who's ridden around here actually realise this is a mentally busy bit of road. Even 20 years ago, 30 years ago, it was grim. I remember coming through as a kid and it was running through on my own. It was literally playing chasing cars. At the moment, it's the Yellow Beacon group that's just holding steady around about that 2.5 watts per kilo. But because of the volume of riders in that leading packet, so definitely just stretching out from the front group with dot to dot a little bit between the Yellow Beacon group and the main pack. So on to the reverse KOM, if you remember the map, that is the red section. It looks like that group all just compressing together, a bit like an accordion. The speed, the further you open up, and the faster you go, the bigger the gaps. Every time the gaps come down, it's basically where the speed has come off and the riders have run into the hillside. So Catlin just chasing to get back into that group. Just say so, just having a little bit of a leg stretch off the back of the pack. I think Craig Genther doing so, just dropping back to stretch his legs. Paul Simonite doing the same, which is what we want to see. Let's have a little look. Mr. Cootie in here, of course, Alistair, of course, a winner on the Chaingang already in February, winning one of those coffee prizes from Grand Tours Coffee. Let's have a little bit of a check. Who else is in here now? Keith Richardson in here. Keith going to be, I think, our beacon on Thursday. We're back into Yorkshire again on Thursday. It's another of our really tough circuits. They're all tough in Yorkshire, let's face it. Now, good to have Claire Richardson in here. Claire already wearing that spotted jersey, virtually with the jersey at the side of her name there for being the fastest of this cloud. The key is to sit at the back of the group and then roll up towards the beacon or towards the front to have that pace. Just watching these riders continue to push. So good to have Simon Brunette just passing 140 seats until he gets to Mallorca. Remember, of course, the Chaingang heading over with Russ. He's going to be out there. Just in Mr. Watson, just having a little bit of a zigzag moment, just jumping all over the place there. I suspect that's dropouts, just jumping into the gate, 0.3 K on there. So just keeping a check of these riders on the back. Don't forget, of course, the Chaingang details are going out on the Facebook pages. Make sure you jump on there, join the gang. If you do invite people, guys, please make sure that you warn them. They need to answer the questions. No answer to the questions, you don't get in the gang. If you can't be bothered answering the questions, basically, then you're probably unlikely to follow the rules. We generally have found that to be the case. So please, guys, make sure that if you invite somebody in, make sure you tell them they need to answer those questions. If it's somebody we know well, they occasionally get a bit of a pass on that one, but it's pretty rare, in fairness, on the way through. Well over 2,500 people, I think, on the Chaingang. So just giving a check on the back of this group. Looks like Lang Richie Woodall in here. Mr. James in here. Looks like Bishop in here as well. Forbes is in here now. I've got to say it was a great result for a certain James Forbes. This is our second of our winners on the Chaingang. So let's get a quick check. Forbes tucked in here. He's going to be got the Z Fondo jersey on there, and it is going to be Forbes, one of our winners. So that's another of our winners on the OTE gang. So good to see. We're just looking for Mr. Chappell on the way through, and then we'll have actually managed to find all of our winners on the OTE giveaway, members of the DCG gang. Remember, all the people who are winning, they are people who have supported the game. They have basically turned around and gone, I've got a little bit of money spare. I'm going to be able to join the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, for the month, and that is going to help keep the show on the road, keep everything rolling. Russ and I basically pay for the Chaingang non-stop, and the donations help us to offset some of those costs, everything from the multiple internet lines to the umpteen TVs, the multitude of keyboards, as well as things like having the backups and so on. And definitely, without the members of the DCG gang, we wouldn't be able to run the gang. It's that simple. So a massive, massive thank you. And our way of saying thank you, because of course, being in Yorkshireman, we know you don't get out for down. And what we do, we try and reward everybody. You can see on the bottom of the screen the people who support the gang. So Halo with a 10% discount for members of the DCG gang. OT 25% discount if you're a member of the DCG gang off their products. 20% off Velaskin. There's lots of ambassadors with 10%, but we basically pass all of everything we can do. We've basically got Chris and Andy pinned them down and got 20% discount for the members of the gang out for you. 1080 are massive supporters. Remember the 1080 the 12 DCGs of Christmas, courtesy of Ian Taylor. Well over £2,000 worth of goodies going out. We're seeing pictures of jerseys, jackets. I've got to say a massive thank you to everybody who helped the team at 1080 to make that happen. Every single chain gang we're doing giveaways, massive giveaways, including custom Oakleys and all sorts going out. So please, guys, make sure you get them on social media. Get them tagged with 1080 with the Donny Chaingang. It's how we say thank you. We look after our riders. We've got Gritty coming up, of course, with a week in March as well. Gritty Sustainable Sports Apparel, environmentally friendly as possible, sustainable, coming from sustainable sources. So things, everything from the cardboard boxes that it comes in, as the card's got the handwritten note for the packing slip, the bags that they are in, all recyclable, compostable, having a minimal impact as is possible. Absolutely key. If we want to go, cycling can be a really, really high impact. I mean, we literally, it is a real high impact. Now, one of the things that we started doing on full speed events is when we go to an event, we actually offset the carbon of us travelling there. So if you think everybody who travels to a in real life event, so that could be the Lincoln Grand Prix, well, we are offsetting all of our miles. We give the organisers the option to do it, but we do offset all the miles, so they're more than able to contribute. A fantastic initiative, inspired in fact by the work done by Sonia and Giles at OTE, and the organisers of the OTE Grand Prix are having a carbon neutral event, which is very, very hard to do. I've got to say well done to them for that. I've got to say a massive well done to the guys at Cyclo Park. Actually, their venue at Cyclo Park in Gravesend in Kent, not from where Andy Hawes is based. One of the venues that is basically not just carbon neutral, but actually contributes green energy into the grid. Solar powered, planting trees, new plantations, and in fact the podium at the National Cyclocross down at Cyclo Park. For every rider getting a tree planted, for every rider on that podium planting a dedicated tree for those riders in their tree planting to help bring the carbon down. They're already beyond carbon neutral, actually a positive contributor helping us keep this planet rideable. So a big well done to them. If you haven't seen the dates of the World Cups are launched, including something that we previewed in the Crosscast. Neil from the Crosscast, I think, having a day off the chain gang. We'll no doubt catch him up at the front a little bit later on. But Neil and myself and Bruce and Neil, regular riders on the chain gang, and got to say, the Crosscast, great to do the show. Season 5, just finishing a roundup of that, and all of the National Trophy venues on there. So make sure you get that downloaded. You can do that on pretty much anywhere you get your podcast from. And that can be iTunes, Spotify, and so on. Now, this descent just starting to break the group apart as per normal. It's exactly what we expect to see on the Yorkshire circuit. It's one of the really tough circuits to hold together. You only need a few seconds over the top, and all of a sudden a gap will open. Fortunately, I think at the moment the biggest group is the leading group at the moment. There's a few people just off the back who are going to need to do some serious squeezing on to get into that group. You just take a little bit of a run backwards. We can go the other way. So Paul Simonite, well, he's one of our real fast men on the Chaingang. Paul going to need to squeeze into the back of that group, just pushing. You just see going up to 8 watts per kilo there. Sonia Inslee. She wants to unleash that super sprint, needs to continue to squeeze just on the heels of Dickinson, Harper, Saysel, and the Kieran Smith just sitting on the back of that group as we come up onto Pot Bank, and you can just see everybody pretty much track standing as you come into this corner. It is absolutely brutal, this climb, and 16% at this point. It is pretty horrible. It is really, really hard to roll it on. And anybody who's got the turbo train set at 100% at the moment is probably about to snap the handlebars off. So Sonia just continues to push, going around the side. Wingy just squeezing a little bit of a break in there, just getting clipped back in again, I think. It looks like Carl just over the top of the climb at the roundabout at the end of Penny Pot before it drops down and in. Chasing Wingy, chasing Dickinson, I think Nathan just on there. So a quick reminder from Russ not to go over the 4 watts per kilo if you sat up at the front. Just keep the gang together is key. So we'll take a little bit of a run up and let's see who's behaving themselves up on the front. This is where watts per kilo are key. I'll see a few 3s. But at the moment, the only 4 bits are on the 0.4s rather than anything higher than that. We'll take a little bit of a run up towards front. You can see us, we're just slowly working our way up this group. Really tricky to get all the way to the front. As Rose just keeping the pressure on at the moment, just clear of Kurt. But you can see these numbers are brilliant. Now everyone just keeping the pressure off, not going too mad as they go over the top and just waiting for it to regroup its way as the train comes up. Now, of course, once we go up over the top and it starts going to the downhill, that's when things start to stretch out. So as we work our way back through, Dickinson at the moment just now, if anybody is going to do a 4 watts per kilo, Dickinson's going to need to do it. So Paul Dickinson at the moment in danger of being left behind by Thorpe and the back of that train. So Dickinson just coming up over that crest. He's got a gap. We're going to just do a little bit of a jump in. Nobody between, in fact, Dickinson, Johnson and Kennedy. And looks like Kennedy and Flynn just dropping down with Johnson. So that red bus being piloted by Carl Johnson, just about to hit that steep section of the hillside as our yard beacon goes up over the top. The gorge behind, yeah, it's not really like that in real life. It's not even close. But it's quite spectacular. It looks good. Right. So, looks like Darryl Taschel Wall just ticking along at the back. Jamie Harper from True Venture just in there. Nathan from Velabans just rolling at the back of the group. So is Thorpe. Wingy's in there. Brindle in there. Chopping. Being Bale in the group. Just rolling by the side of Russ. Alistair Cootie tucked in as well. Folsom in here. Looks like Mark Ketteringham nicely in the group, and this is where anyone who pushed on hard over the top is really going to be paid. They're just going to have to ease right off now, so you're not keeping smooth pace. Now, one man who is indeed smooth is the one and only best dressed man in cycling, Nick Dorsey. Colour coordinating his helmet, the jersey shorts and bike together with a little bit of a hint of Zwift orange in there as well, just to give it a little bit more spice. So good to see that Nick keeping up the attire, the standards of dress on the Chaingang yet again. So the group coming around the left-hand turn, and now on the run back across in towards Harrogate. The gaps are just opening at the back of this. Dickinson and Harper just a distance off the back of that pack at the moment. So Johnson and the bus on the climb. So it looks like Harper and Dickinson distance from that group. Finch going to be distance as well. Simonite just rolling off the back of that pack. I suspect he's got the power to get himself back onto the back of the group. You can just see if we take a look up. This course really is a tough one. It does distance the riders, distance those groups, and definitely puts the splits in on the way through. So just following Paul Simonite, just coming up on the back of the group here. Just pushing alongside Nick Dorsey at the moment, the duo. You can just see closing in on the back of that pack. Well matched here, and interestingly, Dorsey on the deep rim, so going to have the advantage on these faster downhill sections. We say fast, it's 44 kph. It's not exactly going to tear the tarmac and the rubber off the tyres at that pace. It's not like the big screaming descents that we see on some of the other courses where we're doing 60, 70, 80 kph. But when you put it in together with the rest of the climbs, it really does make life difficult for our riders. Now, coming up to 38.5 minutes, we've got 19k under the wheels for our riders. At the moment, everybody keeping it together. Now, you might be wondering, are we going to talk to Russ whilst he's riding? The answer is no. Russ just on the way back from COVID, and we know Russ is made of pure Yorkshire grit running through his veins. However, we're going to let him concentrate on breathing and typing and pedalling and keeping a check on everybody around him, rather than having to worry about talking to us on the way through the ride, particularly as we got into the middle of the ride. Russ at the moment's hit that heart rate 102 beats per minute, ticking along quite nicely, and looks like 170 was 80 revs per minute. So Russ still pretty comfy sat in here. Good to see that Mr. Mason agrees with me. So it looks like Gareth Mason, horrible course. Gareth, I agree with you entirely, but it doesn't help that you're on a slow aerodynamic bike. So the aerodynamic bike here, this is the Cervelo 2020. It had a change of group set, and you can just see it changed from the Dura-Ace group set across. You can work out what it is. And it's gone slower, a bit like in real life, really. So the Chaingang riders who've been keeping an eye on the kits on the Zwift Insider pages will know that that bike ain't the fastest on the flat, it ain't the fastest on the hills at all. It is definitely not the bike to ride on the flat or fast. It looks good, don't get me wrong, but not the quickest bike. Got the Mellensteins on, though, to make life a little bit easier. Gareth, of course, a former rugby player, is definitely in the Clydesdale categories of the Donny Chaingang, which is where I would find myself, I must admit, rather than in the lightweight, featherweight climbing section, that's for sure. So you can just see as we drop back the pace, just picking up, and Andy Caldwell, Ian Bale just yo-yoing at the back. Bale really pushing on here at 3.7. You can see that gap is growing. He's going to need to really squeeze on here. So if Bale wants to get back into the group, it's all about getting that squeeze on, trying to get back in this group as well. Paul Hunsley here could be in danger. You can just see Stefano Borelli in here from Nonnas. Nonnas with a week in the middle of March on the Chaingang. Always the popular week. There's going to be some great routes. Russ and I are having a conversation about what routes we're going to do for the ride for the week that is known as week. I'll tell you something, it's a classics week. I'll let you work out which classic it is. But if you're a member of the DCG gang, March is going to be absolutely bumper. Make sure you get joined up if you're not already. We've got 3 giveaways in March. So today we've had the OTE giveaway. We've got the same again on Thursday with 3 more fantastic taster packs of the indoor training packs. Brilliant bit of kit to keep you rolling. When we go into March, we've got Velaskin with a giveaway in the first week of March. We have got Nonnas with a giveaway in the middle of March. And at the end of March, we've got Gritty on board as well with the sustainable sports apparel. Always good to have Gritty on. Always interesting weeks between those 3 supporters. Now, our riders at half a distance when they hit the line this time. And I think this group now are just seeing the main pack rolling clear. So the back of the group is a little fractured. Our group go through now that is half of the distance. 21.6k done as they go through. 2 laps to go for our riders. Looks like Gail just having to put in an aero power up in an attempt to get onto the wheel of Simon Runnett. Simon clearly having to take a call of nature because he needs to get his finger out if he hasn't. Either that or he's not paying attention because that gap has gone. You can just see Simon at the moment at 4.4 watts per kilo. He's got to push though because the pack are moving really, really quick down here now. Normally we do a right-hand turn. And in fact, that little circuit to the right is where we are on Thursday on the Dutchy estate. Basically, everywhere you're riding at the moment is owned by the Queen. The Duke of Lancaster, the estate of the Lancaster estate, is basically owned by the Queen, and everybody riding on these roads basically just riding around her another of her set of assets. So the gang going up on to the KOM for the penultimate time. They'll go up once more on the last circuit. This is 2 laps to go, so this is the second to last time of the climb. We're going to have 1 more on the other side. We've still got 21k to go. This is going to be a long one today. Might have to do some refueling. It's terrible having the OTE bar by the side of me. I have to admit, it's just sat there just saying, eat me now. They are very addictive. Not as addictive as the Duo bars. The Anytime bars are good, but they're not as addictive as Duo bars. Duo cookies and cream, my personal favourite of all of them. And the absolutely amazing. Now, looks like Russ is clearly not feeling well. He's doing maths on the move whilst riding. So look, young Tom Lindley in here. Tom clearly decided the front wasn't the place to be. Just drop him back. Let's have a little check who else is in here. Craig Gensler in here. Mantis Toboggan in as well. Claire Jessup sat in this group. Keith Richardson. Looks like Kieran Smith in here. Let's take a little bit of a run the other way. Mick Hawkins in here. So we've got Bobby Mason in the gang. Chris Gale. Rob Wimble in as well. Good to have Rob on the gang. Missed it in action. End of the cyclocross season. No doubt going out eating a whole load of pizza, drinking loads of beer and putting on... Oh, no, he hasn't. He's still skinny again. Dress sense hasn't improved either. The Yenzi kit's almost as bad as the real-life racing kit for the Drogon team. Love it, really. Honest. Right, let's have a little look who else is up at the front. Looks like Terry Harrison in here. We've got Neil Burning. We just have Neil back in the gang, pedalling away well on that Tron bike. Probably all round one of the best bikes to have actually on the gang at the moment as they make their way up. Mark Chamberlain just coming up here now. Mark, one of our key supporters, member of the DCG gang, but Mark responsible for Donny Chaingang.com website and doing all of that work. A massive thank you to Mark. He and a number of other people absolutely key in getting the show on the road and keeping us rolling. I've got to say, get well soon to one man who is notable by his absence. and that is Tim Cooper. Tim, as many of you will know, regular cross and mountain bike rider, regular rider on the Donny Chaingang, got a fearsome sprint, and more importantly, the man who keeps the hardware ticking together. The hardware will be going in for some serious TLC at the end of this as we go into wearing it out. But got to say, massive thank you to Tim. Recover well. I know he's definitely on the road to recovering. No, it isn't the plague. But good to see he's at least smiling. I think taking up Airfix models the last I saw, which is a great way to spend your time, to be honest. So, gang up over the top, the riders just streaking out, and the group just stretching as they drop off the top. Just seen Dale Williams go through quiet today so far. That's never a good sign for everybody else. Same with Kieran Smith in there. Same with Mr. Fraser. Sam Emsley going through, Lonsdale going through now. Adams and gang need to just squeeze on. It's like Ian Bale over the top. We're just going to jump back in with our beacon for a reason. It allows us to go back nice and quick. Dale Williams written he's not got a chance tonight. It'll be very interesting. So it looks like Jamie Harper just pulling to the side of the road at 22k. Oh no, that's him again. He goes, red beacon on the way past. Up the road is Paul Dickinson. Dickinson on to the climb. In front of Dickinson, looks like Folsom just going up over the top. We're looking for Stefano. So Stefano and Caldwell together here. Great duo here. Stefano, of course, from Nonnas, and great to see. I'm sure they're trying to recover from a very busy night last night. So Paul Hunsley just dropping down these groups. These solo riders now need to find themselves a group and get themselves back together again. Going to be absolutely key if they're going to survive coming through. Just seeing a squeeze on from Adams as he goes up. He's going to be closing, I think, on Sonia Inslee, which he does. So Sonia, of course, winner of the Taster Pack from OTE. It looks like Mr. Kirk just ticking in at the back there, just squeezing his way up this climb here. Just going to take a little look. Looks like the Terminator 2.0 in here. So Tracy Seeley in the gang here. And Tracy, of course, one of our real strong riders. Great to have Tracy on board with the gang. And one of those riders, definitely a Zwift addict, it has to be said. The biggest addict of the lot, Tiff Fletcher. Not riding tonight, but we do have Tracy Fletcher. So looks like it is already pretty swift up here. So just starting to distance riders behind. Carl Johnson and gang got Kennedy with him. Then it's Dickinson, Folsom, Caldwell, Borelli, and in front. And then it's Hunsley following the pack. Then Fraser climbing up here. I think this is going to be Andy Fraser, if my memory serves me correctly. Apologies if I've got the name wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's Andy. On his way up this climb. We're just waiting for the screens to tick around so we can just keep a check that we've got the right people and the right names. Always entertaining. And Lonsdale, Cannon, Brindle just coming up to the top. Everyone's just trying to stay with the gang. Looks like Ian Bale and Sonia both from Bolsover. Just distance now. Adams off the back, and we saw him close really quickly back on again. Keith Hayward. Interested to see Keith at the moment trying to push as they come up towards the roundabout. Just squeezing here to get into the gang. And you can just see that group has gone over the top. This could be very interesting. Cootie, Kirk, Ryder, and Davis all just in long line. Let's get that drone up in the air. And you can see And the line behind it very, very difficult to get back to close this down as the pace starts to pick up over the top behind him. Adams currently at 3.2. The back of this pack, well, you can see these riders really are squeezing on here. Malin and Garfa just about to make contact here with the back of that group. So just about to make contact with the back. So they're going rolling down in towards the base of Pot Bank. You can just see it on the map in front, that zigzag section. If we take a look at these riders coming down, we're just rolling with John Garfa, who's sat in with that main bunch at the moment. Round the left-hand turn they come. Watch the numbers, top right-hand side of your screen, because this is when things get really hard. Look at the kicker as you go up around there, 17%, back to 16%, then 15, it goes back up to 16. Really, really a grim piece of road. Really hard for the pack to stay together as they come around here. Rider's just trying to stay with the group, and it goes all over the place. And it's quite simply because of the pressure that goes on. The riders hit that climb, different speeds, different body weights, give out different watts per kilo. So you can just see the group all over the road. Not seeing anybody going off-road just yet, but as we've always with the capabilities to give us a little bit of cyclocross road in as well. Looks like Cheeseman is on shore, just distance here. So is Cootie Kirk. And the back there, Bale just behind Hayward and Lone Rider Brindle and Inslee behind it. Inslee out the saddle, just coming up this kicker here. Johnson squeezing on, tucked in the gap. We've got Dickinson, we've got Fulson, we've got Borelli, we've got Hunsley and Caldwell, as well as Fraser. Then I think it's going to be Chris Canham on the base of that climb, as is Lonsdale. Inslee now just on this pull up over the top. So just watching Brad tucked in this group just alongside Wharfdale. Phil Steve Ellis in here from out of the saddle. Good to see Lauren O'Brien on another good ride here, and I've been privileged to watch Lauren racing in the rise in real life out around the north. Great job at riding here in with the Donny Chaingang tucked into that main pack. Just got Finney just behind here, just watching Claire Jessup at the moment. Claire just squeezing those pedals, just needs to push on here. Those gaps will open up in front. You can't afford to let it go. It will roll over the top of the hill just in front, and when that happens, that is when the gaps will open up between the riders. You can just see a gap here. Wingy and Adams at the moment in the danger zone with Garfoot, with Jessup, with Cannon. And they're just off the back of this group. They cannot afford to let that gap go behind them. You can see what happens when you do. There are huge gaps opening up now. 15 seconds to keep the whole thing rolling. You can just see Shaw behind, just really just starting to struggle at the moment. So just watching our riders come around that left-hand turn, and this is where the pressure is on to get back into the group. So Jessup with three other riders, they now need to work here Owen Davis, Steve Cannon, Dave Wing need to go. They need to go now. Jessup's seen the danger. She's going to push here. They're on this sort of flat section of road. They really have to squeeze this group of 4. This is going to be key. Can they get back in? They've got 4 riders as a carrot just in front. They're starting to work together here. You can just see the pressure going on. Garfoot, Cannon and Co. Just working hard. Garfoot in the group in front. Just seeing them coming behind. So at the moment these 4 riders, Davies comes off the front. Jessup tucked on the wheels here. Cannon and Wingy working hard as they come along here. That gap, though, it's at 3 seconds. This is going to be brutal because I think this is going to be too much. Tatchell Wallace just hanging back a little bit. He'll be able to pull them on. He's got the strength if they can get to him, but they've got to get there. And at the moment, for all of this effort, it is starting to split. So the group at the back here just coming up on Garfoot. They've got Tatchell Waller, but look at the gaps in front. You can see Potts here now starting to be distanced. Moore is being distanced here. I think this is going to be... Going to get a tough chase on here. You can just see this group are just about all together. Everybody in here as we go on to this next roll. Remember, this is the climb before the line. This is we've still got a full circuit to go when we hit the line. This is going to be a long chase. We're on nearly an hour at the moment. So it's time to fuel. Look, guys, you've been on the road nearly an hour. You should by now been putting down a good 25 grams of carbs. You should have had some fuel on board. You probably should have done at least a bottle by now if you've been riding the gang. Got to be prepared. Do your homework. If you remember the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, we do give you a bit of a heads up on what the courses are like and just how tough it's going to be. And make sure if you want that info, if you want the links before anybody else, you sign up and join up onto the DCG gang. So Hayward at the moment, he's got riders behind. He's got riders in. Chris Canham, 2 towels in. Wife bringing a 30. Yeah, I'm not surprised, mate. He's roasting in the pay cave. If you've been working hard, you're going to be sweating buckets on the way through. Not good for the frame either, to be brutally honest. So you can just see that group. The gap has gone. Harrison now just at the back of this group in trouble. And Brad Cheeseman just in there. Looks like Sam Emsley sitting in the back of this pack. Templeman in there from Vela Bance. Darren Topless of Pine Cycles in there. Nick Dorsey, Rob Wimble in this group. Russ just tucked in at the moment. So the smart money in the group are just taking it easy, not going too mad. They don't want to expend too much energy. The guys on the very front just easing right off, as you can see. And the pack at the moment moving very fast. We come down into Harrogate. We're going to be onto the straight fairly soon. Taking that left-hand turn through the line. So Dale Williams tucked in there, Ollie Saxton in, Andy Scotland in there. It really is Steve Wilson doing a great job. Wilson, do you know, Wilson's getting better and better every single week. There's no 2 ways about it. A man who's gone out and raced in real life, got back into his racing, and great to see as these riders start to make the way in. We're coming up towards that left-hand turn fairly soon. And this is a dress rehearsal for next time around, remember, because this is the penultimate time they'll be going out onto the last lap. You can see the leading group just dropping the group number 2 as they come through. They're not doing silly numbers, but the continual attrition of these hills really taking its toll. Now, around that left-hand turn, the straight in the background greener than it was at the World Championships, that is for sure. And time to drop down. 1 lap to go, and when they hit the line this time, it's going to be 1 lap left to go. And Neil from the Crosscast is indeed in this group. We thought we might see him as we came in towards the end of the ride. Keeping it quiet in there. Phil K in with the Group 2. So just able to catch a quick peek of everybody. And the go goes with 1 lap to go. Almost exactly 1 lap to go. And gone on a downhill, interestingly. This is going to be very, very interesting to see just who leads this out. In fact, Neil from the Crosscast is doing the leading out. Our camera can't get back to him. Here he is. So the leader at the moment just leading it out there. Neil putting a quick kick in to make sure he's right up at the front as it starts to take effect here. They're on the way down. This is a sharp left-hand turn. They've got to keep this dialed as they come around the turn now. How quickly can they get through here? So it looks like Kieran Smith making his way up to the front. Vin Donahoe on the back. This group now starting to split. And it's 2 big groups now as they come up on to the start of the KOM. Up they go. And you can just see behind, it is fracturing all over the place now. I think this is going to be Craig Genther going for a long one here. So Genther really putting the pressure on, starting to wind it up, starting to do some damage. Paul Simon out after a yo-yoing around the back, quickly up on to the heels here. Behind him then, it's going to be Rob Varty, it's going to be Isaac Oliver, it's going to be Will Adams, it's going to be Cook, Lindley chopping. Varty just puts another kick in here to push on. Dick Samoa up in this lead group. Wilson still in there. This is tough stuff at the moment. They've got to push. Will Adams just closes that gap down now, looking very, very strong indeed. So Adams closing that gap like it wasn't there and straight up over the top. And he's got a power up as well. Well, Adams has got this absolutely down, hasn't he? He went straight over the top of them. He closed the gap down like it wasn't there. Scotland's legs are toast. I'm not surprised. Look at this. Kieran Smith is responding and he's going to get over the top. Another kick over the top. These two are absolutely duking it out and we're miles off the finish yet. So as they go up here, Kieran Smith has put a kick over the top. Will Adams closed the gap down. He then kicked with the feather. And then over the top came Kieran Smith. Cook is chasing behind, as is Oliver. But look at Kieran Smith go. He's got the gap on the rest of the riders. And he is going to be dot to dot behind the riders that really are smashed to pieces. That group all over this reverse King of the Mountains climb here in Yorkshire. And Kieran Smith with a 4-second gap over the top. So round the turn, it'll be Kieran Smith who's going to take away this reverse KOM. Time that is for certain goes through with a 2 minutes lost coil. Isaac Oliver, Varty, Birmingham, Adams, Cook, Dale Williams, Lindley. Looks like Simonite chopping, Kettering, Genther, all in the hump behind. But this is group number 2 at the moment that we're looking at. They are chasing your lone leader, Kieran Smith. You can see him just in front. Dale Williams tucked on the back in the pink here. Looks like Varty going up to the front, continues to pedal. A number of people just trying to super tuck the way down here. Remember, it's going to be steeper than a 3% downhill. You've got to be doing more than 58 kph for it to kick in, but it does then save you energy. You're able to rest on those descents if you're able to super tuck. As they go down, a -7%, definitely steep enough. 68k, definitely going to be enough there, and you can just see behind riders in 1s and 2s chopping, and Simonite distance off the back of this pack. This is your group of leaders being led out by Varty. Now Dale Williams comes over the top. He was bluffing, I think, when he said not going to be him today. I think, though, Coyle could be the one to watch. He's been there or thereabouts. And remember, when we go on to the climb, having that power to kick away and stay away is tough stuff. We've seen the winner of the Perth's race, one of the big openers of the season, the Perth's race, being won by Damien Clayton. Clayton, of course, a regular on the Chaingang and solo winner on this circuit. He is soloed away off on the steep section of Pot Bank and ridden it all the way into the finish. Will it be the same again today? Oliver now starts to squeeze his way through. Birmingham's in there. Varty squeezes to get onto the heels. Kieran Smith coming once again. So the group currently are being led out up here by Coyle. Coyle, the leader. Behind him, though, that gang, that group is coming. And you can just see that pack just holding nicely on the heels. Now, Adams looks like having to put in a little bit of effort here because just being distanced out of that pack, he's just trying to keep them in sight. Then it's Simon Knight, then it's Neil from the crosscast behind him, Craig Genther, Tristan Emtish, then it's going to be Ketteringham, Chopping, West, that's Watson, aka Raccoon, then it's Fuller, Taylor, Templeman, Singleton, Mantis, going to be Woodall in here, Ollie Saxton. Let's have a little look at Fletcher in here, Simon Runner in here, Martin's in this group as well. Rich Orrell tucked in here, and Claire Richardson. So Richardson currently our fastest female rider. If we work our way a bit further down through the group, it's certainly looking really packed down here. Tracy Fletcher right up in the mix, but right at the front of affairs at the moment. It looks to me like it is going to be Coyle and Smith group who've got the gap on everybody else, and you can see behind them there is virtually nobody in sight now. 22 seconds to Simonite. He's out of the running now. 30 seconds to Neil from the crosscast. Genther the same. The yellow beacon just coming up the side of the climb. But these are your leaders now. Birmingham's on the far side, not doing too much at the moment. Just sitting on in there in the black. Now looking pretty smooth. Coyle in the grey at the moment. Just keeps it ticking along here as we drop down. Remember, when we get to the very bottom, we've got that massively steep section. 17%, 16%, 15%, 16%, and that kick will keep on going as you go up over the top. You then got that downhill run into the final kicker, and then a downhill run to the finish. So plenty more work to be done, and this front group working well. Dale Williams, I think, getting the banter in here. He's telling him he's got the energy to talk, to type, saying he's not got the energy to climb. Well, not sure I'd be believing him. He's definitely got lots of power. We've seen him solo away to victory before now. Or will he be able to do it on this course where we hit the climb? Here we go. This is where things get really interesting. We'll ride in with Kieran Smith at the moment. This is going to be key up around that 25% on the inside of the bend for Kieran. We just saw those numbers come up on the screen. Kieran tucked in here at the moment. Now Coyle goes over the top in the grey. So Coyle has gone off onto the front. He's got a feather at the right time as well. Now, can anybody answer this move here? Coyle at the moment kicking out 400 watts. Well, Cook has got some power. He's gone over the top of him, and Kieran Smith is coming behind him. Kieran trying to keep that pace up to stay on the wheels at the moment. But we can just see this is absolutely phenomenal stuff. Cook absolutely nailing it. So Graham Cook from Scotland, currently trying to keep the rest of them at bay, but Kieran Smith has gone on his heels here. So Cook at the moment up at 185 beats per minute. That is what it's taking to stay with Kieran Smith. Kieran on the front here. Cook is pushing on again. The moment that pace drops, he's lifting it back up to a 6 behind, though. Looks like Isaac Oliver and Tom Lindley are going on to the heels, and if they haven't snapped now, they're unlikely to snap over the top. I think we're going to see 5 riders together here, and this is going to be Cook, it's going to be Oliver, it's going to be Kieran Smith in there, Lindley in that, along with Coyle. They will be our 5 riders up on the front. You can see them there, right hand side with the pink cap in the orange jersey. Isaac Oliver, the youngster, only 14 years old. Kieran Smith, former hill climb champ, sat on the left hand side with the flat cap on. Then it's going to be Cook coming through the middle at the moment with the red and yellow band over the top. Right at the back, Tom Lindley in the orange with the light blue. These 5 riders are your leaders over the top of the climb. They have a gap of 15 seconds to Neil Birmingham, 19 seconds to Rob Varty, 40 seconds to Choppin and Williams, 44 to Kettering and Genther, 47 to Simonite. So those gaps are really substantial enough now that these riders should be able to stay clear with 5 of them. The chasing riders, they're on their own. Birmingham is not that far behind, but he's on his own. So he's Varty. Varty could get to Birmingham here. That would make 2, but it's 2 against 5 if all 5 are prepared to work. It looks like Cook, Coyle, along with Smith and Oliver, all doing a turn and turnabout now. Varsity pushes in to get onto the wheels of Birmingham, really having to put in some serious stick there. Then it's going to be Genther chopping along with Simonite and Williams. Then 9 seconds back at Neil from the crosscast on his own, as is Saxton. It's a couple of seconds back to this next group, which is Taylor, Templeman, West Emsley, Tristan Emertage, Mantis, Toboggan and Co. So I got to agree with Russ. Groups everywhere, just like you would see in a real road race in Yorkshire. Yeah, it's smashed to pieces, basically. That is about par for the course. And you can just see at the moment, is anybody going to bet against Kieran Smith? He is the rider who's got the sprint. He's the rider who's won more than anybody else when it comes to the run for the line on the Donny Chaingang. You've got Tom Lindley in here. Lindley's got a big kick on him. A rider who we really have seen grow and progress on the Chaingang. It's not all that long ago. It's the life of the Chaingang that Tom Lindley was riding around in his tracksuit bottoms and a set of trainers. The gang came to his aid and sorted him out with some kit, and look what we've produced. We've made a monster. He's up with the top riders. He's in that top 5 group at the moment at the front of the Chaingang. I think everybody who's helped out on the Donny Chaingang will be very proud of what he's achieved so far. Will today be the day where he manages to take away a top spot while he's up against it? Because this man, Kieran Smith, in the flat cap on the green Tron bike, the man to beat. He's got a very phenomenal kick. He's a fast rider in real life, as all these riders are. Isaac Oliver is right in here. Now Coyle goes over the top. Coyle has gone. He's gone and he's gone hard. He's gone on the last hill of the day. This is the last one before the line. Coyle is trying to stretch this out behind. I think he managed to catch Cook napping. Cook is starting to push, but Kieran onto the wheels, as is Lindley. Now Cook comes up and joins them. Are we going to see a counter-attack and Coyle go again? He keeps on pushing at the top here. He really wants to stretch them out. It's a 9% slope, but look at this. They've not dropped anybody. They've not got a gap. All that has happened, they've maintained that 13 seconds to Varty and Birmingham. They're the nearest chasing riders. The yellow beacon just coming around the side of the roundabout now. 3 riders at the front here in the grey and blue camo kit. That is Coyle. In the black, that is Kieran Smith. In the dark blue, bright pink socks with the red band across his shoulders, that's Cook. Then behind Isaac Oliver with the pink cap, the bright orange jersey just starting to roll through the middle. Then Tom Lindley with a blue stripe on his back on the orange Tron bike as they come up and along over the top. The 5 are putting in attack after attack. Another attack from Coyle. Now he doesn't want to take these sprinters to the line. He doesn't want to give them the advantage as they come in. You can see see we're on a descent here, but so difficult to break clear at this. You need 6 metres just to get that draft blown apart. You need at least 6 metres to give yourself a chance, but when you've got 5 riders, there's always going to be 4 chasing. This needs to split. If it's going to split, it's going to need to split into a 3 and a 2 for it to be fairly even, but I can see this coming down to the choice of when you sprint. Who is going to get that timing right? This is the same finishing circuit we use for the reverse UCI. It's the big circuit. It's the same run into the finish. Lots of the riders have got this dialed. You can see on the top right hand side of your map that the screen, the corner is coming up for the riders. At the moment, they're all over the road. Nobody is giving anything away. Everybody is having to do pretty much the same amount of work because nobody is taking the front. They've got 47 seconds on Birmingham. That is going to be more than enough to take this to the line. They're not going to get caught, so it is down to a 5-man sprint. The left-hand turn is going to be key. It's going to be about who has got the pace, who has got the sprint, because once we take that left-hand turn, we're down past the pens and down to the line. They're waiting, they're waiting. This is very nervous moments indeed. If you've got a sprint, you're wanting to get the timing right. You're not wanting to go too early. We've got Cook in here, and now we see it to being opened up by Oliver, but Kieran Smith responds. It's going to be between these two on the front. Kieran Smith really is winding it up. 20.6 watts per kilo from Smith. He's opened the gap behind. Tom Lindley's trying to come. He's trying to push. He's not going to have it. It's Smith who takes it. Lindley in second. Cook in third. Coyle in fourth. And Isaac Oliver, after leading that sprint out, takes that 5th place spot. So it's Smith, then Cook, then Lindley, then Coyle, then Oliver. They are your top 5 behind. This is the run in. This is for 6th and 7th place. Varty has gone first, but Birmingham tries to go over the top. It's going to be closer. Well matched, these two, but Birmingham is going to take 6th place here today. So it's Birmingham who takes 6th. It's Varty who takes 7th. Dale Williams, he's going to take 8th. Genther in a run into the line. He's not going to get it. Simon Oates going to get 9. Chopping 10. Keswick 11. Genther 12. Neil from the crosscast going to be out the back of that group. So going to be 15th. That was a brutal chain gang. And you can just see how tough that circuit was. 4 laps of that climb and 4 laps of that circuit. Absolutely scary, scary stuff. Graham Cook, a great ride there. Not kidding. Now there comes the next sprint in. Taylor is going to just about get it. Oh, so tight. I'll let you work that back on the replays. Tristan Saxton, Taylor, Mantis, Singleton going in. Nathan from Velabat's going to be our next rider just in front of Simon Run It. Then it's going to be between Watson and Richardson. I think Watson and Raccoon is going to just about get it from Richardson. Richardson maybe saves his legs for Thursday. Remember, we're back in Yorkshire on the smaller of the 2 circuits. So it's going to be Richie Woodall. We're back here on Thursday. This is going to be a really exciting circuit to watch. Can't wait to see just what happens now. Orrell pushes for the line. Is he going to get... Oh, it's so tight again. Pillsworth and Martin may well have rolled him on the line there. Then it's Rigby. Next up it will be Fletcher. Can Fletcher hold at bay? Greenway. This is the run in for the line. It's going to be close. We're going to stay beside them. I think Greenway's just going to squeeze this out. He's going to get this just by squeezing those pedals. So through he goes. So it's Greenway from Fletcher. Then Tatchell Waller. Next up, the first of our female riders in there. That is Claire Richardson. An amazing job by Claire. Again, one of the real fast riders in the chain gang, being followed there by Russ down in the Berries back. Now poke the Berries back with us all once again, and Russ comes through. Next up will be the group with Nick McDermott in bags of Forrester. It's going to be Jimmy Allen, the Wolf himself, going through. We're going to drop back a little bit further as Ellis has gone through to follow. Apologies if we miss you on the way through. Try and watch it back on the Downhill Cycling YouTube channel. We do try and catch everybody, but when there's groups coming in at pace as you do on this circuit, very difficult to get an exact match now. This looks to me like Vin Donahoe's going to take this. He's got a big old kick. You never want to take Vin to the line. Look at this massive sprint in. So Vin goes through, then Dubash, then Dowtree. Then it's going to be Evans, followed by Langmead. Hilbert, Clark comes through Hindle. And I think I'm just going to see Tracy Fletcher on the waistline. Tracy's going to be the third of our female riders on the way in here. So good rider by the multi-time champion Tracy Fletcher from the Magspeed team. Next up is going to be Rob Wimble. Wimble with a gap to Gale, Chris, Malin and Dorsey. So a little bit of a gap back now to these riders. These four are going to be the next in. Now, Malin has got a bit of a sprint on him, to put it mildly. That is... He's definitely could be the man to beat here. However, Crease is quick, and this is going to come down to who has the most left in those legs. And I think it's going to be Crease because he's gone early. So Crease has gone early here. He's got the gap. I think Malin is going to take the last spot. That'll teach me. That was commentator's curse if it ever was. So it's Crease, Dorsey, Gale, and Malin as they came over the line that time. Behind it is going to be Terminator 2.0 because it is Tracy Seeley on the way into the line. Another good ride by Tracy Seeley. It's going to be fourth of our riders in through. Fourth of our female riders in through the line, being chased to the line there by John Finney of the Steleton, then Brad Cheeseman, Antonio Nadoni chasing hard on the in that La Squadra kit. We've got Sean Ferron just ahead of Briggs here. So Briggs are next to ride in. Then it's going to be Wharfdale Phil coming to the line. So Phil, I think, with enough of a gap to Rodney, and it's going to be Sir Rodney, who I think has got this kick more, kicking hard in response, but shuts down. No, it's not going to get him. And then it's going to be Darren Topless out on his own. So my training ground for Indy, our trail dog is Sherwood Pines, and of course Darren Topless of Pine Cycles, based in the heart of Sherwood Forest, and good to see Darren back on the Chaingang again. In through the line he goes. Behind him it's going to be Andy Scullin, another of our regular riders. Is in front of John Garfoot. Garfoot is putting in a big kick behind, but 12 seconds is going to be too much. I think that kicker is going to see, though, Garfoot coming in. The Royal Navy Royal Marines rider. He's going to come in ahead of Cannon and Mason. So it's Cannon and then Bobby Mason being followed in. It's going to be Tim and Wingy coming through. Then it's going to be Brindle just coming in over the line. I think Jessup now coming in. It's going to be a fifth female rider today for Claire Jessup on that orange Tron bike ahead of Owen Davis. Davis with 15 seconds to the riders behind, no sign behind him, so going to be able to cruise his way into the line. So good to have Owen on the gang. Still plenty of riders out and around the circuit here in the circuit. Remember, we're not going to go across to Russ today. Just letting Russ get his recovery done absolutely spot on because, of course, still on the comeback after COVID. Now, it looks like Terry Harrison trying to close down Bishop here as they come in on this little bit of a kick, but Bishop takes it. Harrison unable to go over the top there. And then it's going to be Kendall. So Stephen Kendall ahead of Sonia Ainsley and Alistair Cootie as he makes his way in underneath that gantry. Good ride by Stephen. Behind then it's going to be a smaller group, I think. So it's going to be Sonia who's going to take this. She's got the gap on Alistair Cootie. He's coming at 7 watts per kilo. I think Sonia's going to get the timing just about right. Underneath she goes. So it's Sonia Ainsley, our winner on the OTE giveaway today. One of our 3 winners, followed by last week's one of last week's winners, Alistair Cootie. So it pays to be part of the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club because you get loads of giveaways. Never mind the fact you get all the links early. Next up is going to be a Wallace in and through. So Gordon Wallace coming through ahead of Shaw. It's going to be Shaw behind Andrew Shaw, then Andy Caldwell. Next of our riders on the way in, being followed then by Steve. I think who is behind, so it's going to be Steve Catlin, James Rose, Keith Hayward, Chris Connor, Stefano Borelli, Ian Bell, Paul Dickinson, Carl Johnson, and Michael, the bus bringing them in at the moment. So, Alistair Cootie just bringing home Sonia Inslee as Alistair Caldwell. Andy Caldwell, sorry, goes through. Then it's going to be Catlin coming through. Steve Catlin being followed by Rose. So Catlin with the gap back to Rose as Catlin comes in towards the line. I love all the traction engines out around the course. Not sure there's ever been that many in Harrogate at one time. So Catlin through. Next up will be Rose. It's going to be the next. So James Rose, the next rider. He's got a gap to Hayward and Canham, followed by Burrelli and Bale with Dickinson. So Rose just coming into the line. Got to say congratulations, of course, to Mick Chappell, to James Forbes, and of course to Sonia Inslee, our winners on the OTE giveaway today. So they're going to be the riders who are going to get the benefit of those indoor training packs. Don't forget to go on to the otesports.co.uk website for all of the details of the packs and of what you need to do to keep yourself moving and to keep yourself fueled up. So just we do get asked occasionally for those people that missed it, maybe just returning this spring to the Chaingang. It used to be that we would have a little donate button at the side of the registration for people to just donate on a per ride basis. There was a very different perception from reality to people's perception of how much that actually managed to raise to keep the Chaingang on the road. People's perception was that everybody came on and paid $3.50 a rider, and we had hundreds of riders, and therefore there were thousands of pounds coming in. The reality was it was generally less than £10 in total per ride was raised that way, and there would be 3 to 4 riders per ride donating at the most. And it took a lot of admin, and it took a lot of looking after, and we would pay fees on all that. So we've knocked that on the head because basically it didn't raise any money. It is a lot of work for very little return, and by the time the fees came off, it didn't really help put the Chaingang on. So, if you want to support the Chaingang, easy way to do so. Go on social media, tell people how good it is. Whether you're Keith Hayward here coming in, whether you're 39.6 behind, which is Chris Canham, whether you're Stefano Borelli from Nonnas. So the easy way is to make sure you give it lots of social media exposure, particularly for the people who support the Chaingang, people like Halo, OTE, Nonnas, Velaskin, 1080 Vela Viewer, Chrissy, and Grand Tour Coffee. If you do have a few quid spare, then £25 a month will get you the access to the DCG gang. And this is basically how we manage to replace all the kit that we wear through putting the Chaingang out, how we managed to pay for all the extra lines, the data, the extra provision for it. Basically, £25 gets you access not only to all of the links to ride details early, you get to find out where we're going. Chris Cannon can get a heads up on exactly where we're heading and what the hills look like. You get the links to a previous time on circuit, if we can find one, of the Chaingang from YouTube. We get the links to Swift Insider, to Velo Viewer. You get discounts, 25% from OTE, 20% from Velaskin, 10% from Halo, 10% from 1080, 10% from the team at Grand Tour Coffee and at Gritty. They do vary, so depending on what you're after, depends on when you want to be a member. If you're not a member all the way through. None is supporting the Chaingang with Stefano coming in and through the line. A giveaway coming up in March from them for members of the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club. Don't forget, of course, this extra 10% off everything from the Pro Espresso store with the amazing Rocket Espresso machines. If you haven't seen one in action, then go onto the Cycle Espresso website, find yourself a ride to a cafe, the network of cafes out there, all of shown on the Cycle Espresso websites, and really easy to click on the map. An ever-growing network from the team, and that's Cycle Espresso. So cycle with an E, and then espresso with an E. So CYCLE, and then ESPRESSO.co.uk. We'll get you all of the details of where the stores are, where those rocket machines are. Life's too short for bad coffee when you're riding your bike, so get yourselves on there and have a look, see the Rocket. All those discounts coming to members of the DCG gang as way of Russ and I saying thank you very much. Using our contacts within the sport to try and give you a little bit extra to say thank you for donating, for enabling us to. Today was stripping out and recabling a number of the cables in the studio that have basically all worn out. We do use the studio for the Chaingang a minimum of twice a week, all the way through, generally for about 5 hours a day. Although you see the broadcast for a couple, it's generally only go for about 5 hours per broadcast in the studio. And we have, of course, the WOW DCG as well. The next WOW DCG is not this week, it's next week. And a little change, our beacons just start swapping over. Emma has been our yellow beacon all the way through, just dropping into the red beacon role on a Wednesday. And it's going to be Alison Kinlock, who we know is a real fast rider. Only rides the Ride Swift on a Donny Chaingang, but a really dedicated Donny Chaingang rider knows exactly how to ride it, and with the power and the pace to be a great yellow beacon. So really looking forward to seeing Alison Kinlock as our yellow beacon. That's a week on Wednesday. So make sure you tune in. If you subscribe to the Downhill Cycling YouTube channel, then you'll find that all of the live feeds, when they pop up, will come up on your screen. You can be notified of those. And it's the easiest way to check out the videos as they go online. If you do need help getting any of the kits set up, don't forget it's really, really easy to get help on the Facebook pages. Absolutely key to jump on there. The support is immense. It's a bit like having your own club. I'm a member of Bolsover District, as is Ian Bale here, and my local club. Loads of support off them for riding locally. It's the same with the Chaingang online. The Chaingang, the Facebook page is loads of help and support. If you get really, really stuck, then if in doubt, give us a shout. We can generally come up with a solution for all the weird and wonderfuls. Although I must admit, 99 times out of 100, if not 999 times out of 1,000, or 9,999 out of 10,000 times, it is down to Wi-Fi and connectivity between the computer and the internet and the servers at Swift, and it's all to do with keeping that speed and that power high. To give you an indication, in the studio we run a multitude of lines to keep everything rolling, but we have about 65 meg is the speed rolling on the main game and broadcast. And we also do. We also have 3 other lines dotted about, but the 2 key ones outside that both run. One runs at about 45, and one runs actually at 100 meg as our emergency backup. So it is pretty key to have that speed, and then you don't get dropouts. You don't get find yourself in riding all alone on your own. Well, not unless you get dropped and don't find a group, which is not easy now. Just taking a little bit of a check. It looks like we've got Stefano on the climb. We've got Kennedy and Johnson heading into the descent. Stefano just making his way out around towards the top of the hillside there. So I think Stefano just getting dropped early on, just watching him drop out of the group there. And that is quite simply because he was a late joiner. So let's jump back in with the riders who are still on the ride. And I make it, we've got 3 riders to go. And this is going to be our first rider of the 3 to come in. A great riding there by Dickinson coming through. Paul Dickinson making his way in and through, using lightweight bikes to keep that weight down as he goes in and through the line. Great riding by him. Our next duo will be Michael Kennedy and Carl Johnson. They're on the run down in towards that last corner. So these are our two riders who are going to bring the Chaingang to a close. Don't forget to give me a follow. That is Matt Fixer Pain. You can do that on Facebook. You can do that on Strava. You can also do that on Zwift. All key to keeping in touch with what we're up to. It doesn't make a big difference. Basically, the more you follow, the more of you that follow, the more clout we get with Zwift, the more clout we get with sponsors, the better it is in terms of being able to get you the best we can as a member of the DCG gang to keep the chain gang rolling and keep on getting that priority as we go through. So please, guys, make sure that you give us all a follow on the way through. Don't forget, of course, you can get hold of Russ on social media all over the place as Russ Downing. And don't forget, of course, follow the Donny Chaingang. You can do that on Instagram, a great social media feed on there. Make sure you tag it in the people who support the sport. They're at the bottom of your screen at the moment. We're going to have a watch of Michael Kennedy and our fantastic red beacon coming into the line. We'll follow Kennedy in through to the line first here. So it will just be the warm down to do from this orange archway here in Harrogate. And now we're going to jump in with our red beacon, Carl Johnson, with the lightweights on, with the lightweight bike as well, putting out a traditional kick to finish. Thank you very much to Carl. Our red beacon's absolutely critical in making the ride happen and being able to keep a check on everybody. So a big thank you to Carl. Thank you to all of our riders. So all that remains is for me to say thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, guys, we're back on Thursday with the next of our OTE themed Donny Chaingang. So we use the big circuit in Harrogate. We're going to go down to the smallest circuit, the Dutchy circuit, 3K long, lots of laps. I think getting dizzy. Looking forward to putting words to the action from myself, Matt Payne, from Russ, from everybody on the Donny Chaingang. Stay safe, and we'll see you on Thursday.